Thank you so much for being here. So, today we will be discussing session number 13, which is called Pandemic and Widowhood. Earlier on today, we did session number 12, which was called Diamond Jubilee and Milestones. So now we are continuing on with session number 13, and it's Pandemic and Widowhood in terms of Queen Elizabeth II's life history. So let's go. On 19th of March 2020, as the C-19 pandemic, that is COVID-19 pandemic, hit the United Kingdom, Elizabeth moved to Windsor Castle and sequestered there as a precaution. Public engagements were cancelled and Windsor Castle followed a strict sanitary protocol nicknamed the HMS Bubble. On 5th of April, in a televised broadcast watched by an estimated 24 million viewers in the United Kingdom, Elizabeth asked people to take comfort that while we may have more still to endure, better days will return. And she was definitely correct about that. Speaking about this in 2024, looking back on the pandemic that happened in 2020, we are definitely in better days now. So the Queen was correct when she said that. Oh, bless her. Let's continue. Elizabeth asked people to take comfort that while we may have still more to endure, better days will return. We will be with our friends again. We will be with our families again. We will meet again. On the 8th of May, the 75th anniversary of VE Day, in a television broadcast at 9 p.m., the exact time at which her father had broadcast to the nation on the same day in 1945, she asked people to never give up, never despair. Very encouraging words from our Queen at the time. God rest her soul. Let's continue. In 2021, she received her first and second COVID-19 vaccinations in January and April, respectively. Prince Philip sadly died on 9th of April 2021 after 73 years of marriage, making Elizabeth the first British monarch to reign as a widow or widower since Queen Victoria. She was reportedly at her husband's bedside when he died. That's nice of her. I know they had a very close and very good marriage, and they were like the best of friends. So she was there at her husband's bedside when he died. And remarked in private that his death had left a huge void. I can imagine, after being 73 years of marriage to someone and then they've suddenly passed away, you definitely would feel a huge void. But she had a family to comfort her at that time. And yeah, let's continue. Due to the COVID-19 restrictions in place in England at the time, Elizabeth sat alone at Prince Philip's funeral service, which involved sympathy from people around the world. In her Christmas broadcast that year, which was ultimately her last, she paid a personal tribute to her beloved Philip, saying, "That mischievous inquiring twinkle was as bright at the end as when I first set eyes on him." So even within all her sadness, she still had that humor. That's a nice way of remembering him. Let's continue. Despite the pandemic, Elizabeth attended the 2021 state opening of Parliament in May, the 47th G7 summit in June, and hosted US President Joe Biden at Windsor Castle, Biden was the 14th US president that the Queen had met. In October 2021, Elizabeth cancelled a planned trip to Northern Ireland and stayed overnight at King Edward VII's Hospital for preliminary investigations. On Christmas Day 2021, while she was staying at Windsor Castle, 19-year-old Jaswant Singh Chell, is it Chell? Hope I pronounced that correct, broke into the gardens using a rope ladder and carrying a crossbow. What? With the aim of assassinating Elizabeth? Really? I didn't know that. This is all shocking information. I am reading from the source, Wikipedia. So this is very alarming to me. Wow. Let's continue. This guy broke in to the gardens using a rope ladder and carrying a crossbow with the aim of assassinating Elizabeth in revenge for the Amritsar massacre. Oh my gosh. Well, luckily he didn't get away with it at that time and the Queen was safe. This is really touching actually. It's really thrown me off. Okay, let's continue reading. Before he could enter any buildings, he was arrested and detained. Oh, thank God. Under the Mental Health Act in 2023, he pleaded guilty to attempting to injure or alarm the sovereign. Oh my gosh. Wow. Never heard of that. Let me know in the comment section if you were aware of that. I wasn't. That brings us to the end of the reading for session number 13. I'd just like to say thank you so much for being